welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher, it is about us, the authors.
Welcome everyone to day 2 of our Author of the Hour session, and today we are thrilled to present 5 authors who will captivate you with their personal stories and the inspirations that brought their books to life. Get ready for unforgettable experience. Our next featured author is Lynda Drake, author of The Powerful of Imperfect Parents, a heartfelt and candid exploration of the challenges and triumphs of parenting children with disabilities and other diagnoses. Lynda's personal journey as a mother to 3 amazing children, each with their own unique labels, including Down syndrome, severe allergies, diabetes, and more, has shaped her into a compassionate advocate for families facing similar obstacles. With her extensive experience working with individuals with disabilities and homelessness through her 16-year tenure at Bayard Enterprises, Lynda offers invaluable insights and practical tips for navigating the complexities of raising children with special needs. In her book, she shares her profound wisdom and releasing stress, finding the silver linings, and embracing love. Crucial lessons that are sure to resonate with parents seeking solace and support. Through heartfelt storytelling and a genuine desire to provide guidance, Lynda reminds us that we are not alone in our parenting journey and empowers us to embrace imperfection with unwavering love. Once again, let's all welcome Lynda Drake for the Author of the Hour session.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, book lovers and storytellers. Welcome to, once again, the grandest book line event of the year, the Festival of Storytellers, Chapter 5. We are live across all of our social media platforms, so please like, subscribe, follow. I am here to speak with the author of the hour, Lynda Drake. Let's bring her on. Good morning, Lynda.
Morning.
Yeah.
Morning, Kimmy.
All right. How are you?
I am great. How are you this morning?
I'm well. Thanks for asking. So we are going to dive right on in because we got a book called The Power of Imperfect Parents. And I know that I'm one. So I'm ready to dive in with some questions for you today.
Great.
So, what was your most challenging part of being a full-time mom with 3 children with disabilities and diagnoses?
I think really the most challenging part of raising my kids with all of their various labels was watching them be in pain and not being able to take it away, whether that was physical pain or emotional pain. My youngest daughter, she had 4 surgeries before she was 21. One of them was back surgery. So just watching her go through all that. With Alex, my son with Down syndrome, not having friends, that is really tough too. And kids his own age, so often not understanding him. That's the most difficult thing. And I've learned some tools now that are in the book that would have helped me back then to deal with it a little bit more, but it's hard. It's not easy.
Wow. I myself had a child that was born with trisomy 18. So this conversation probably is very, very touchy for me. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk with you through this interview.
Thank you.
Wow. So three. Do
Yeah.
you feel do you feel like you like what do you consider the most rewarding moment as a mom of three children with disabilities?
The most rewarding moment of being a mom to my kids had to be just all the things that they taught me, all the things that the challenges that were going on in their lives taught me. Like my daughter, who had the surgeries, also would have severe allergic reactions monthly. And hi, Catherine, good to see you too. Um, so her allergic reactions that were really life-threatening really taught me about love and about that we don't know how much time we have. Um, just to always remember to tell people that I love to love them, that I love them. And my son, all of my kids have taught me so much how to see the world differently, that we can all see the world differently, but that doesn't make that view any less valuable, that we all have something to contribute.
Right, right. Now you were a stockbroker for 19 years and
Mhm.
I know you were earning a lot, but what made you decide to do nonprofit kind of thing?
So I actually have a book on money that's coming out very soon from a spiritual point of view. So there was a bit of a gap between being a stockbroker and um, being going into the nonprofit world. Um, I, when I was a stockbroker, I had quite a bit of money in my 401k, and I told my husband that I wanted to quit because I had three kids with all these labels. This was when my kids were 7 and 14. And I told him I wanted to quit. And he said, "You can't quit." And I laid in bed. He said, "You can't quit because we'll go broke." And I laid in bed and I wanted to cry. And I didn't have time to cry because I had to get up at 4 o'clock the next morning and do it all over again. And when I woke up, I said, "That is ridiculous. If your life is so busy, you don't have time to cry, you need to let some things go." And I told him, "Forget it, I'm going to quit," which I did. And he was right. We went broke, but I had time. I had time. And it's so interesting how the universe has brought to me, I've called into my life the things that I really need. And many years before that, in 1995, I had been to a conference that was for families of people with disabilities and providers. And I heard this man speak who was very articulate and intelligent, and but he was quadriplegic, which means from the neck down, his body really, like, he couldn't control his body, he couldn't walk or things like that. And he was born probably in the 50s or 60s. So he had grown up in an institution because that's what happened back then. We didn't have the support out in the community that we do today. And he had said in that speech that he wouldn't even allow himself to dream of having a job.
Wow.
That changed my life because I knew in that moment I wanted to open doors for people with disabilities to make sure they could work if they wanted to. I had no idea some people weren't able to work. And so then after I quit my job in the brokerage world, there was an ad in the paper to help people with disabilities find jobs. And I knew that I had been led to that. And that's what got me helping people with disabilities and homelessness find work. And that's how I got into the nonprofit world.
Wow. Hannah says, how did you balance the time between parenting and writing a book about parenting?
Balance is a tricky thing, isn't it? So I would just work on it a little bit when I had time. It took me years. It took me 3 years to write this book. And then I have redone it a couple times. So it's just a matter of, if it's something you want enough, you'll find the time. And don't feel like you have to get it done next week. Take your time. Just do it as you can.
Right. So do you feel, this is a question of my own to you, do you feel like you needed to schedule time to cry? Because I know
Isn't that
I have to
ridiculous?
schedule. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It's time to reevaluate your life when you have to schedule time to cry and to
Yes.
look at what can I give away of what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Marcy says, you are a symbol of strength and hope to all mothers out there. I admire your tenacity to be the best parent you can be. Oh,
Thank you, Marcy. That is so sweet, isn't it?
that is good. Now, Lynda, how do you handle your children's mood swings?
First of all, you can't take them personal. That's a huge thing with our kids. We can't take it personal. And if they're doing something, like if they were doing something that was just making me like lose it, I would try, not always succeed. I would try, take a deep breath, go to the bathroom and lock the door and just try to get myself back together. Whew, kind of breathe. And then hopefully face it with a little more patience and love than I would have. But you're not going to do it perfect every time. Sometimes they're going to catch you on a bad day and it's not going to go well. And if that happens, I would just say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, Lynda, how old are your children now?
So my oldest daughter's 37 and my twins are 30. So my son with Down syndrome and my daughter who has severe allergies and other things, they're 30. And my 37-year-old is the one that has ADD and dyslexia and has been through some other things too.
Wow. So Paula says, how can parents approach these sensitive topics in a way that is both informative and respectful of their children's individuality? That's a loaded question.
So it depends on who you're talking about sharing with. When my kids, especially my son with Down syndrome and my daughter with ADD, were young, especially my son with Down syndrome, I would create a book that had different things about him, what he likes to do. His speech is hard to understand. So helping people understand him at a deeper level. I would do these books that would, have information about him. I've also gone into classrooms and I've done this for people with disabilities and those experiencing homelessness, where I go into classrooms and do an experiential training where they get to see what is it like to have ADD, what is it like to be homeless. And that really helps people, students, other students understand more fully what the kid is going through.
Oh.
Hi, JP.
Good morning, JP. So, Lynda, let me ask you a fun question. If you had to teach something, what would you teach? And what age group would you teach?
I have facilitated a class for 15 years for people experiencing homelessness and those with disabilities. And one of the topics I taught on that was the most impactful was how to send blessings, which is basically infuse love in a situation, and the 12 spiritual laws of the universe. Actually, next week on Thursday, I'm doing a class on sending blessings and infusing and the 12 spiritual laws of the universe. But I want to tell a quick story about one of the guys that had been to my class on blessings. He had been in gangs all the time. He's in his 40s, still associated with gangs, which is a pretty violent place. And he had a guy, there's a long story to get there. I won't share that, but he had a guy in his apartment who was drunk and belligerent and would not leave his apartment. And he looked at that guy and he said, normally I'd be beating you up, but right now I'm loving you. And the guy looked at him like, what? But it really helped diffuse the situation. And the guy left his apartment and he didn't beat him up, which would not have ended well. So
Wow.
anyway, that was funny.
That is funny.
So that is
Lynda,
what I would teach on for sure.
all right. Well, Lynda, we're gonna have some hashtag fun. Readers Magnet are gonna throw out some words and you tell me what you're thinking and experience
Okay.
or whatever. So let's go for it.
Parenting. Parenting, yes. Parenting is the most challenging and rewarding job you'll ever have. And if you're a working parent, the most difficult job you will ever have, for sure.
Wow.
And I would add the word I would add the word imperfect, because you just can't be perfect. Raise your hand out there if you feel like a perfect parent all the time. Right?
Look.
I'm sure everyone out there is like, "Ooh, that's me." No, it's not. So, looking at parenting as from a place of love, loving your kids, loving yourself through it all,
Right.
laughter, parenting. Let me tell you, there's some pretty funny things about being a parent. There's some funny things that come up. Allow yourself to laugh at that. They're
Yes.
hilarious. My kids are hilarious.
Yes.
And learning from everything going on, learning from what's going on, and letting go. Knowing I can't be a perfect parent. Let me let that go. That's not serving me.
Yes.
Let it go. Don't take life so serious.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take another hashtag.
Thanks, Hannah.
Relationship.
Whew. That's another good one, isn't it?
Yes.
Taking time for relationship. Letting the people you love know that you love them. And that relationship also includes a relationship with yourself. Like you were talking about, Kimmy, having to schedule when you have to cry. Well, you have to take time for that relationship with you also, and making sure you're taking care of yourself and loving yourself. But taking time for the relationships in your life.
Wow.
Just having a conversation, even if you can't go somewhere with somebody, sitting in a
Right.
different room, as long as your kids are safe, and having a conversation.
Right. Yes. Carmen says she loves that you're acknowledging your imperfections.
Yep. Yep. I'd be a politician if I said I was a perfect parent. Oops. Did I say that out loud?
All right, we'll take the next hashtag. Disabilities.
Disabilities. I have learned, I've worked for 22 years helping people with disabilities and homelessness find work. And I have worked with people with all types of disabilities. We need to let go of the thought that the word disability is disrespectful or are people that are less than. Because let me tell you, people who experience disabilities they have taught me so much. And one of the things that they've taught me is how to change pity to perspective. When we look at people with disabilities and we pity them, we are not doing anyone any good.
Wow.
Change it to perspective. What is that person teaching me about life, about struggle, about how to go through challenges and come out stronger, better? And I'm telling you, I've worked with a lot of people on the autism spectrum, people who are developmentally delayed. They offer all the rest of us such a gift in understanding whatever you call your higher power, source, God, whatever. And we have so much to learn from them. It
Wow.
is not something to be afraid of. It is something to celebrate all of our differences.
Do you
As
look
a
at
matter of fact,
disability? I was
my
gonna
son
say,
with Down syndrome is his connection to God is amazing. One time when he was 9 and I was putting him to bed, he told me, God is soft and warm and God loves everyone.
oh,
I
so
would, yeah, it's amazing. So it's not something to pity for sure.
do you feel like, or have you ever felt like one of their disabilities were a curse to you or to them?
No,
Okay.
no. Some of the symptoms are challenging, but if you can change how you look at struggle, so instead of looking at it as a curse, as there's a lesson here, there's something powerful I'm going to learn. It helps you see it for all that it is
Yes.
and accept what's going on.
Right. Lynda,
Yep.
having a sick child,
Yep.
let's do a hashtag that I didn't tell them that I was going to do. Sleep. Are you sleep deprived?
What?
Is your sleep
Kimmy?
better now that they're older, or
No. Sleep and food are fascinating when you have kids with disabilities, because we are taught as good parents that you and your kids have to get this amount of sleep and you have to eat these kinds of foods or you're going to die, and I'm telling you, my son he was 30 with Down syndrome, he sleeps maybe 4, maybe 6 hours a night. The rest of the time I hear him in his room talking very loudly sometimes. So yeah,
wow?
no, sleep is no. I wake up a lot, but you just wake up in the morning. Like when I had twins, you wake up in your morning and in the morning, and if you tell yourself, "I got enough," then you can move on. If you focus on, "Oh my God, I was up 5,000 times," then you're not going to have a good day. So just tell yourself, "I have enough." And with food, my son eats chicken nuggets. 90% of his diet is chicken nuggets. I do add supplements. I do a lot of supplements, which help a lot.
Oh,
But
good.
yeah, if your kid only eats one thing, give him supplements that help.
All
But
right.
don't stress about it. Don't make food such a control issue.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll take our next hashtag.
Hyperactivity. Yeah. None of my children had hyperactivity, but I've worked with a lot of clients that are. People who are hyperactive, thinking about food with them, making sure there aren't food allergies or things they're sensitive to, because that can really contribute to hyperactivity. But also seeing it as a gift. People, if they can get hyperactivity under control in whatever way, whether it's supplements, whether it's meds, pharmaceuticals, they can have amazingly creative minds and accomplish amazing things. One of the things I found helping people who had ADHD find work was they need a job that uses their skills, that they're not going to be bored with, whatever that means to them,
Wow.
and that they can do something to help. Like my daughter who has ADD, she has to be doing more than one thing at a time. So she has to be like at work, listening to music while she's doing her job,
Okay.
maybe writing on her hand, writing somewhere while she's doing her job. So let them do what they need to do to focus
Right.
so that they can bring all of their amazing gifts to where they are.
Wow. Carmen says, I hope this question doesn't come off as rude, but what was the defining moment of your motherhood journey, especially being a parent with children with disabilities?
Wow, the defining moment. The most challenging moments were dealing with my daughter who has anaphylactic reactions almost monthly during high school that led to the emergency room, and my son with severe behaviors. And his behaviors were violent. He would throw things, he would hit us, try to hurt us, destroy things in the house. Often they would require police to be called. That was a defining moment for me, both of those, where I learned the most. But if I can, I would like to read a little part of the book about behaviors. Is that okay to do?
Yes.
Are there rules in this, Kimmy? I don't even know.
No, because that would have been one of my questions. Can you cite a part of the book where you find it most challenging to deal with? So
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, Kimmy. So I'm going to read this little bit, and this is about behaviors specifically.
Okay.
With behaviors like your child trying to hurt you, it is easy to feel shame as a parent for raising a child who would do that. Know that all of us feel shame about something. Shame is different from guilt. Guilt says I did something bad. Shame says I am bad. Maybe you feel shame because you got angry at your child and didn't handle it as well as you could. Or maybe you feel shame because you have to go to work with a black eye that your child gave you. Sometimes I would have to go to work 2 or 3 hours late, still crying because of the trauma of that morning's behavior and waiting for the police to come. I felt shame walking through the door to work, having to admit my child's behavior through my tears. It was awful. I was grateful that I worked at Bayard, which was the nonprofit agency I worked for, that works with people with disabilities. They understood. My boss had a mother with schizophrenia, so he understood. He even understood the shame piece. When you feel shame, I'm assuming you will at some point, at one point or another, talk with another parent who has a chance of understanding. There's no handbook for parenting in general, and sure as hell, no handbook for how to deal with your child's behaviors. Do the best that you can to love yourself and your child through those times. Know that if you can do that or close to that, you will gain the hard lessons that come from this time. Know there are lessons there, and this too shall pass.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Wow.
that was a defining moment for me as a parent because I'd never witnessed that.
Right.
I didn't grow up with violence. My parents didn't even spank us. So it was so out of my realm to deal with.
Let's take our next hashtag. And this one is, I'm going to comment on this one too after you.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. That little comment on figure out what helps you be successful. Okay.
Yes.
Special children. And every child is special. Every child is special. And letting them know that is a beautiful thing, whether they have labels or not. If what makes your child special, that isn't the right way to say that. If your child does have diagnoses and labels, help them to see how that makes them special and unique. Help them to see the true gifts that they have because of who they are and how lovable they are, and help them find the gifts because every challenge has its gift. Every challenge. Sometimes it's harder to see than others.
Wow.
That's what I would say. What about you, Kimmy?
So I don't want to get emotional here, but I never got a chance. He didn't live long enough for me to tell him how special he was. But I'm probably believing that you have had a chance plenty of times to tell your children how special they are. And not because of their diagnosis.
Right.
And so this is eye-opening to me if I ever had that opportunity again, which I won't. But if I had to have another child and they were special, I would definitely
Mhm.
want to tell them that.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
they were born with a sickness or not.
Yeah.
So that's a good word, special, and that they are special.
Yeah. One of the things I talk about in the book is grief about those children that aren't on this physical plane long. And regardless of how long or short you are physically with that child, you are always a parent of somebody with special needs, and they are still around you for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, how do you, not how do you, what is the relevance of the word imperfect, especially with your book and everything?
Yeah. Really, it is just not possible to be a perfect parent. It's not possible. There's way too many things. We learn stuff every day about food and how to interact with our kid. And you can just make yourself so frazzled by trying to do all that perfect. Let it go. Let it go. You are going to be a better parent by releasing that word perfect. You've got to realize parents have raised kids for a while. It's not a new thing. They've raised kids for a long time. And every generation learns something new about parenting. So just do the best that you can with love and let the rest go. And if you make a mistake, which I have made plenty, like one time, one of my kids, I don't know which one, was not flushing the toilet when they did a number 2. You know what I'm saying, guys? It made me so mad. I pulled them all into the bathroom and I was like, okay, guys, if you do a number 2, flush the toilet. If you don't start flushing the toilet, I'm going to make it so you can't do a number 2.
Oh, wow.
And then I just started laughing. I was like, okay, wait a minute. That's a threat that's pretty hard to follow through on. So I just started laughing and I was like, okay, guys, I really can't do that. That's not going to happen. But after I admitted my imperfection, you know what? They start flushing the toilet.
Well, it worked. It worked.
Whatever works.
And guess what? They didn't know that you couldn't actually do that part. So that's what makes it even more fun. They didn't really know that you couldn't do that.
Right.
On another note, let's talk support system. Did you have a good support system back then, and even do you have it today?
Yeah. So the support system, I had an amazing support system. My mother, my husband, who was alive at the time, friends, strangers. I have to tell you a story about that too. Many years ago, when Alex and Katie were about 11, and Alex really hadn't started to have behaviors before then, I took them to a small town and we were going to go hiking. Well, Alex got mad about something and he started throwing rocks at us and hitting us. And it was very scary. And I knew I needed to get him calmed down and in my car. But my car was a few blocks away and I couldn't leave. This beautiful man and woman stopped and asked if they could help. And I gave her my keys and I said, if you could please go get my car, this is where it is. And she brought my keys and helped me.
Wow.
So the help I've gotten from strangers is amazing. And I do want to read the Life Bites for the chapter on support, if I could.
Okay.
Because it can be hard. It can be hard to ask for help. So here's what I say.
Okay.
It's okay to ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness, but rather an opportunity for grace. Research the help that is available for your child through various agencies and programs. Ask other parents about resources they have used. That is how I found out about CDAS, which is in a lot of states where you can get paid to care for your child, especially if they have a lot of things going on. They have to have some medical issues going on. But that was life-changing. And I found out about that from another parent. This was a tough one for me to admit too. Remember that real strength is admitting to our vulnerable moments and lean into those we love. I can allow the strength of others to lift me up. I don't have to carry everything myself. I can't carry everything myself. Knowing I am worthy, being grateful, releasing any doubt and fear opens the door to allow good to flow to me. Being able to accept is key. So we all need support, but we have to accept it. Be a good receiver. My intention is to open that door with deep appreciation of all I truly am, knowing that real strength is found in connection with others. That was a huge thing for me to learn.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Lynda, that takes me to my next question for you. What life lesson have you learned the hard way?
Yeah. So the lesson I learned the hard way was definitely about strength. That I am not here to do it all by myself. I have to accept strength. I mean, I have to accept help. I am not that strong. And I have to say when I need help and lean into somebody else. And also that this is a huge one. I don't have to fix everybody else. As a matter of fact, I can't fix anyone. I can walk beside people. I can open doors for people. I can love them and support them on their journey. But I am not here to fix them. I'm here to empower them to be their best selves. That was a hard one to learn.
Wow. So I know, having children with special needs and stuff like that, you can kind of lose friends over the years. Do you feel like you've lost some and then gained the best?
Oh, you said it. Absolutely. You said it. You hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I did lose friends. And there were some people, they just couldn't deal with it, or they don't know what to say. I think people do that with grief too, don't they? If they don't know what to say, instead of just saying, what you're going through must be hard. Can I just sit here with you and hold your hand?
Right.
Give you a hug? They don't need to fix me when I'm going through that. They don't need to take it all away. Just sit here with me and hold my hand. Hug me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Marcy said, was your parenting style ever questioned?
No. By everyone in the grocery store, yes. Everyone at Walmart, yes. Often, right? We love to judge each other as parents. Let that blank go, man. Let that go. Don't try to judge somebody else. Again, just love them where they are. So yes, definitely my parenting. I mean, look at all my kids, what they have. I mean, how can I say I'm a good parent when my kids have all these issues? Right. People must be saying, wow, what did she do? So yes, definitely people question parenting styles. And if any of you have been to an IEP, which is individualized education plan, it can mean different things. And you sit around and everyone that's involved with your child, the physical therapist, the occupational therapists, everybody. And they all have things that they're telling you to do. Do this, do this, do this. I'm telling you, I left those meetings crying almost every time because I felt like a terrible parent. It's like, I don't have time to do all that stuff. I got 3 kids and I work full time. I don't have time to do whatever. So I would figure out, okay, what is the most important thing that they told me that I can incorporate into my life and do that. But yeah, people, we love to judge. It's okay.
Well, most of the time, I know my experiences, a lot of people that gave me advice did not have a sick child. So I'm
Right.
like, okay, let me just toss that out the window.
Yeah.
But it takes me to a fun question to ask you. First of all, I'm a twin.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So what is it like being a twin mom?
A challenge.
Double
But you know
trouble.
what? Before then, I was a very different person. And I thought I could do it all. Like I said, I thought I was strong. I could do it all. I don't need nobody. And I would judge people who did need somebody. And then I had twins. And one, at that point, the only label anyone had was Down syndrome. And I figured out, oh, maybe I need to be a little more humble and not think I could do it all. So I had to accept help. And it was great.
Wow. So if I may ask, did your husband get a chance to live to see them grow, become adults? Okay, good. And so how
He
is
just
it?
passed. He just passed about a little over a year ago.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm sorry
Yeah.
to hear that.
Yeah.
So then it takes me to my next question. Do you feel like your parenting, do you feel very alone parenting now? Because,
Mm,
now, you guys were married and together and you were handling it
yeah.
together. So now you have to do it solo. So how is that for you now?
It's very different. And my mom also passed, who was also a huge help. They passed about in the same time. So it's been different. And I don't have anyone who really understands everything that we went through, but I do have amazing people helping me. My best friend is also a caregiver for Alex, and he has helped me through this past year and a half so much, not
Wow.
only with the grief, but with dealing with Alex. And it has been really good to get a new perspective on how to parent Alex because he's seen things that had just been going on that really I wish hadn't. Like me taking too much responsibility for Alex and figuring out what is it Alex can do and what is it I need to do and not being so enmeshed, but really separating that out and figuring out what are my responsibilities and what can I help him do. So it has been challenging, but it has also been very good. And Alex is doing great. He's really doing great.
All right. So that takes me to a fun question. What have you done lately that is worth remembering and sharing with the world?
The Festival of Storytellers, facilitating these sessions has
Yes.
been amazing.
Yes.
I'm also, and I also do want to say my daughters, because they're both adult daughters, they have helped very much in the past year and a half with my parenting, learning more about my parenting with them and with Alex. So they have also been a huge help. So the things I'm doing right now, I'm doing an article series. I think I'm going to call it Finding Me, about the personal growth that I've done in the past year and a half, really looking at myself and like things like strength and different things like that. So that really reflecting on me, which is challenging. It's not easy, but it's very rewarding. So I'm going to do an article series to help people with that. And I'm also working on some Life Bite activity cards that are for parents that they can incorporate into their life to help their child be more employable, let go of stress, help with money. So I'll be talking about those on Tuesday, this Tuesday, the 30th, in this Festival of Storytellers from 5 to 5:30 Mountain Time. So 7 to 7:30 Eastern Time. Is that right? I hope that's right.
Yes.
So that's what I'm doing now.
Lynda, what is when you're stressed out, maybe, or just feeling imperfect? What is your favorite drink to have?
Water?
No
I don't
coffee?
drink alcohol.
No coffee?
I have coffee and tea
Okay.
when yeah. I guess I have tea when I'm feeling stressed, like in the afternoon, or I go for a walk. Walks have been so helpful. Just that solitary time to just reflect on what's going on and just be out in nature. That's one of my go-tos. And I do qigong every morning, which I've done for at least 15 years, which is like a moving meditation that has been amazingly helpful to help stay grounded.
All right. Well, that takes me to another fun question. What is your life going to be like as a future author? As an author in the future, are you writing another book? Is this your only book? Tell us.
So, yeah, that's a great question. I have another book in the editing stage right now called The Power of the Financial Dance, a spiritual guide to financial health. That is about what I've learned about money, because I've been on all sides of the financial fence and worked as a stockbroker and with those experiencing homelessness. So I've really seen money from every angle. So I'm doing that. I also have an online class called the ABCs of Stress Relief. I love to facilitate classes. I'll be doing more of that for sure. And probably have more online courses like the ABCs of Stress Relief. And speaking, hopefully I'll be speaking places, talking to people about money. And I'm a life coach, so I'll be doing more of that too.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're
So,
juggling a lot of hats here.
yeah. I don't like to be bored, Kimmy. I don't like to be bored.
Do you feel probably with 3 kids? I doubt that you're that bored.
Yeah, no, I'm not bored.
Now, are these 3 children your only 3, or are you a mom of more?
No, I'm my only 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I am a
Wow.
grandma to 2
Oh my
adorable
God.
little girls that live in Indiana.
Okay. Marcy said, how's the experience with the Festival of Storytellers so far?
I'm telling you, it has been amazing. I have listened to other people's sessions, which have been so interesting. I love getting to know the authors. I
Right.
saw your interview with Kenny,
Oh, you did? Okay.
which was really cool.
Oh,
And I've been able to facilitate classes, and I have 3 more coming up this week, which I'm really excited about.
wow.
Yeah, this has been just amazing, so creative. I love how you can look at the books and click on it and find out more about the author. Yeah, Reader's Magnet is amazing. I love my team that helps me. Angelo and Rose and QR and Mark, all those people are just, they're amazing. And what they
They
produce,
rock.
they rock. They're
Hashtag
so,
Reader's Magnet rocks.
yes, I saw that. That was on Kenny's, wasn't it?
Yes.
Where everyone said that.
Yes.
Yeah, they really do. And what they produce is so professional. And like they say, they get our story. What do they say? They share our stories with the world. And really they do. I mean, every person hearing us right now is hearing us because of Reader's Magnet.
Yes. I'm so
Yeah.
grateful. I'm
I'm
grateful.
so grateful.
Let me
And
ask
I
you
get to
a
meet great people like you.
Oh,
These authors are amazing.
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Here's a wild question for you. Do you like being found? And I'm going to ask a couple of questions within a question. Do you like being found? And what was it like being found by Reader's Magnet?
Oh yeah. It, it was on January 4th last year. And Angelo called me, and I had been taken by another company that did not perform the way they said they were going to perform. I'm sure a lot of authors out there can relate. So when he called me, I was like, oh, are you kidding me? What are you trying to get me to do? I wasn't very nice. And, but somehow he kept talking to me because he's amazing. And he convinced me to join Reader's Magnet. And I am so grateful. As a matter of fact, I now call him friend. I mean, it's been an amazing journey.
All of them are my friends, as far as I'm concerned. Like when they call, it's like we're sitting there, like, which I would like to meet all of them in person. Is that not a wild and crazy?
Let's do it.
To meet the whole.
Let's go.
Yes, all of them. Reader's Magnet.
Yeah.
I just want to have a day with coffee or something.
Yeah.
With them. So yeah.
Right. And being found, because on one of my sessions, there was a woman whose name I didn't recognize. And she said, I really love your book. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know that person. And they found my book and they love it. It's very encouraging.
It is good to be found.
It is very good to be found. Yeah.
Yes. So Lynda, tell us all of your platforms where we can get your books.
So definitely on my website, lindadrake.com. And they have links to everything, which is helpful. But also it's on Amazon, of course. My money book is on Amazon now. It's the old version of my money book. Don't buy that now. Wait for the new version.
All right.
On my website, you can also hook up with the ABCs of Stress Relief, which is a very powerful online course to help let go of stress. So Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever X used to be, I don't know, Twitter, whatever it used to be, I don't know. It's something else. Oh, I also have a YouTube channel that has some videos on it. Yeah.
Wow. So Lynda, that's going to give me a wild hashtag for you to end it with. Revised version. Hashtag revised version, because I know you just said don't buy that book. So what do you think about revised versions?
Well, the Power of Imperfect Parents as it is right now, that's really the fourth version. I tried completely by myself with the first one, which was not very successful. I know you're shocked. And every single one has a different cover. So one thing about writing books, don't be afraid to revise. Don't be afraid when people edit your work. Listen to what they say. Don't take it personal. Just listen and say, this is helping me be a better writer and a better storyteller. So yeah, I would say that too.
Wow, that's something that I can take away from this, because I've thought about revising my first book.
Yep.
I'm really just really trying to figure out if I should do that, and I'm praying on it. So, wow, thank you. I'm glad I thought of that hashtag, revised.
Yes. So what are your books on?
My first book is 43 Days Born to Live. And my second book, that Reader's Magnet did for me, Nobody Goes to Heaven Kicking and Screaming. So those are my two books.
Nice.
And but I really have been thinking about revising. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm nervous about it, but even so, you just never know. I definitely listened to you, and even the other author yesterday, I think he did one to his books maybe, but
right.
Yeah, just kind of learning. I just want to learn to be a better author. And so sitting around, meeting new authors, even sitting with you today, just really soothed my heart, because like I said, I had a child born special, and I dealt with shame over the years. And so this, just sitting and just knowing that I'm not alone. And I knew it then, but even just sitting with you and having that experience with you in this hour has just been amazing. I feel encouraged, and I'm glad to have met you. And just remembering, like you said, let it go. Don't try to be perfect. Just wake up and do it all again tomorrow, because that is what I had to do in those 43 days, was wake up and do it again. And you really do.
Right.
You don't have time to think. You don't have time to cry. So,
Yep. And that's true. That is so true. There are times in our lives when there's no way. There's
Yes.
no way we have time. And there were definitely times in my life like that. So even just, I have some activities in the book, some self-care activities, like even when you go to the bathroom, sitting and thinking about this amazing body of mine and just thinking about, wow, how this machine works every day, and being so grateful for everything my body can do. And when you wash your hands, being present and being grateful for what your hands can do. Your hands held that beautiful baby, loved that beautiful baby. All your baby knew was love. All
Yes.
they knew was love.
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
Even looking at your children, your heart just burst with love. And so
Yeah.
just remembering to love your children. I feel more encouraged because even though he's gone, I'm still an aunt. And so
And you're still a mother.
yes,
You
that
will
too.
always be a mother.
That too. So
Yeah,
man,
absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
tell you, I'm encouraged to just keep going, wake up and do it all over
Please.
again tomorrow because but do you also feel like when you're, since your book is entitled Imperfect Parents, do you feel like when you washing your hands that you are washing away imperfections daily?
That's a great way to look at it too.
Yes, literally, like you're constantly washing away imperfections,
I can let this go.
Yeah.
I can let this
Yeah.
go. I can let it go. Yeah.
Yes. I am definitely encouraged, Lynda. It has been a
Good.
pleasure meeting you, and
Yeah.
breath of fresh air.
And think of the parents that also have a child whose time on this material planet is not long, and the hope you can give them and the love. I'm sure you wish you had had a book like that to read when you were
Well, I
going
talk
through it.
about hope in one of my books. Look, my mind went blank. Which one of my books did I talk about? There's a chapter on hope.
Yeah.
So I definitely have hope, and
Good.
I have Jesus, so that makes it even better. So
Oh, faith is huge.
oh yes, but
Yeah.
anyway, it has been a
Oh, my
pleasure.
book is also on audio. That's important
Oh,
for us busy
good.
parents. It's also on audio. So
All
I've
right.
loved listening to it. She does an amazing job narrating it, and I've really enjoyed listening to it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Lynda. Like I said, it's been a pleasure meeting you, and I'm sure our paths will cross again soon. We will probably have to do that coffee with the whole Reader's Magnet team.
Yes.
To set it up and just get out there and meet the whole
Right.
team. But with that being said, I'm going to wish you a good day, and I am going to hand it back over to them, and I will talk to you soon.
And thank you everyone who has
Yes.
participated and those who will hear it in the future. I hope our conversation helps to lift you up because you are worthy and you deserve that. But thank you for being here, everybody.
Yes.
Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher, it is about us, the authors.